Part 31 of Majora's Mask is a go-go, baby. We got light arrows, and for the first time since the original Zelda, I think, they're given to us as an item from a dungeon.
Were the light arrows an item in the first Zelda game?
Well, they were the silver arrows, if you want to get technical here.
Oh,
but,
yes.
point.
Same difference, you needed him to beat Ganon.
Silver's quite shiny, that could be construed as light.
Yeah.
Well, it's only shiny if the lights hit it, so...
Silver arrows, silver bullets, anti-evil arrows, you know,
So
same
Ganon is a werewolf.
Ganon detonation devices.
Ganon is a werepig.
Whatever. The point is, light arrows are back, they're in this game, and they pack a punch. But they cost magic per use, as does the ice and fire arrows, so be wary of that. But they are really powerful.
Well, this is where the Chateau Romani comes in handy, and you will need to take a swig of that glorious brew, for this boss requires a lot of it. Well, not this one coming up, but the dungeon boss as a whole.
Yeah. If you don't know what you're doing. It's quite a zing. I don't know what I'm doing.
The hell is that thing?
This is Cyclops.
It looks like a Sonic Boom enemy, actually, now that I think about it.
His name is Igor, I believe.
Igor. Where did they
Actually-
come up with these names? I mean, serious.
Actually, I think you'll find it's pronounced Igor.
For
Or
the
however it
culture-
goes.
For the culture tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Eighth? God damn it, I'm not even... No, I'm,
Well,
I'm
you are
more than
halfway
half-
there.
I am halfway there, yeah. Okay, look at the glass half full.
It's...
Shut up, Ted!
I didn't even finish the goddamn sentence.
Fuck you and the physics you wrote in on, alright?
That's not the right way to go. Oh, Dumbfuck.
Who keeps
Silly Johnny.
strapping bombs to these poor innocent mice? Seriously.
No, that's the fucked up thing. They're born with those bombs.
Okay, well then those bombs have to have the world's largest fuses.
I like to imagine it's just Skull Kid dicking with nature, really.
Oh wait, you can shoot the light arrows at those things instead of... Well, why can't... Well, the sun's shining, why can't you just reflect that from the mirror shield at it?
It's not how it works, Ted.
I'd agree with you, him messing with nature, but if it weren't for the fact that... Well, first off, we had bomb chews since Ocarina of Time, and they're designed off of something, and when you actually... when you see target enemy and you can look to Tattle to give you enemy descriptions, which are, by the way, hilarious if you already played Ocarina of Time. Because Tattle goes like, what, you don't know about fucking Kitas? Or you don't know about Keese? Or, like, what are you doing? But when you do it on a bomb chew, her first remark is, wow, a real-life bomb chew. So, they are a thing of nature. This is natural animal.
Cruelty.
These are natural animals in the world of Hyrule and Termina.
No, it's Termina, alright, as in terminal.
It's like the GIF thing. If you wanted it to be called GIF from the beginning, you should have made that clear. We've been calling it this for 10 years. It's stuck like that.
Like, which of these sounds better to you? Oh, hello, I'm from Termina. Or, what's up, mate? I'm from Termina, innit? Like terminal, as in I'm about to die. Exactly.
The deepest shit here on Majora's Mask, ladies and gentlemen. God damn.
The deepest lore and pronunciation. Excuse me, I think you'll find it's pronounced pronunciation.
Make it stop.
Do you ever show
Funny as
what?
the grabber jokes.
Do you ever show what the Deku double looks like?
I don't think I do because, for gameplay purposes, this serves no purpose for me.
Yeah, well, who gives a shit about the Deku Butler's son anyway?
The
Yeah.
Deku Butler.
Hey, Deku Butler, check this out.
Oh, my son, my only son.
Now to go back in time and do it again.
You guys are assholes.
No, Dumbfuck's an asshole, and that's the problem.
You're the one controlling him.
Well, Ted, you question why you can't just beam sunlight directly from the sun itself, but you have no problem of, like, concentrated sun blasts.
Shut up.
How many stray fairies were there per dungeon again?
15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, now we're going to get into pretty complicated part of Stone Tower, because now it's not just a matter of, taking a swim for a short second with the Zora mask or walking over some lava with the Goron form. Now we have to, go through different altitudes with the Deku scrub form and keeping in mind, because the thing about Stone Tower, as we're going to demonstrate here, is that you're only halfway done once you get the light arrows, because now it's a matter of using those light arrows to hit this switch that I just revealed to turn the entire temple upside down.
The guy and the mini boss does tell you that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this isn't like an out of nowhere thing. Okay.
No. See, look, there's the hand in the background. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see the finger pointing.
Well, I
out.
could have if John would focus the camera on it.
Yeah, John.
I'll
You
listen.
would-
So you missed.
How did I miss that? I was at point blank range.
I'm looking at these green potions, and it just looks like a broken texture or something. I don't know why. The blue potion and the red potion don't give that effect.
It could be just the color green. Doesn't blend well with the glass texture.
Possibly.
Could be that. Maybe that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to make myself sound smart. You see that fucking counted. So turns tempo upside down. Oh god!
Please tell me you don't take damage for that.
No.
Keep falling forever. And do you guys know the actual reason for this?
What do you mean?
Well, this again is speculation, unless it's said in another part of the game. In which
Citation
case, feel free-
needed. Citation.
Yes, in which case, feel free to correct me. But the goddesses hated the what's the word I'm looking for? Arrogance of the Terminian builders, because they were trying to get into the sacred realm, basically, and so they built Stone Tower as a means of reaching the heavens. So what the goddesses did was instead created the light arrows and whatnot. I think they created them, either that or they created the mechanism for flipping the dungeon itself. So instead of building like up into the sky, they were digging to hell, and that's what the desert is.
Wait, so that's a straight up tower.
No,
of
dig
Babel
up,
thing.
stupid.
No, dig up, stupid.
That's like
And,
that's a Tower of Babel reference, I think.
Yeah, and that's if you get to the boss fight. There are, and all around the game, actually, there's like stone towers there with Majora's mask like emblazoned on it, and that's basically where the mask comes from, or so the legends say.
Should have been the Legend of Majora's Mask.
Yeah, it's a very important dungeon in terms of like lore and whatnot.
And this is all just from visual implications.
Yeah,
There's nothing's outright said blatantly. It's all from what you see around you, and a lot of people just don't chalk that up to coincidence. I don't like to believe in coincidences when it comes to designing areas for video games. I think you take the time and effort to say, well, I want to base this area off of some sort of folklore or a story and give it a purpose, but I won't say that outright because part of the fun is letting people figure that out themselves.
Well, I personally, I think if you spell out this kind of stuff too much, it loses all of its meaning and then just becomes kind of pretentious. Like that's I think a lot of people like a big storytelling mistake is like thinking that your audience won't get your reference or something, because you lose nothing by not knowing. Well, let's just assume that this is true for a moment. Your audiences lose it, like 8-year-old me wouldn't get that this is supposed to be the Tower of Babel or something. So I lose nothing by doing that. But if you do get it, it adds to your appreciation of the story as a whole.
I can give you a filmic comparison for that actually. Star Wars, because in the old movies, the Force was just this kind of intangible magic psychic thing that was more like willpower rather than any like physical magic. Flash forward to episode 1, you get midichlorians who are just basically influencing the environment, and it becomes kind of pseudoscience, and it's really not needed.
It sucks away some of the mythology of the sci-fi fantasy setting. Well, I always classify Star Wars as sci-fi fantasy, not straight out sci-fi.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I get what you're meaning. Majora's Mask is my favorite 3D Zelda game, but not because of its Tower of Babel parallels. I like it because of its gameplay, its world, and the adventure it entails. But again, bonus points if you're able to make what you will about it and getting enjoyment out of it.
I think out of the story-heavy Zeldas, this Twilight Princess, maybe Wind Waker, do it best. But at the same time, I don't mind the kind of story-light Zeldas, like A Link Between Worlds and such. It really all depends on your preference, but I think it really adds to the overall feel of the game.
If they manage to pull it off right,
Oh yeah.
some amount of subtlety is required for this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Fair play to Nintendo. They don't do cutscene-heavy games much, but they're pretty good at writing like backstories and whatnot.
Yeah, like that's I think where they get their best sort of subtle storytelling is sort of their best. I think Pokemon Gen 1 and 2 do it pretty well, and Pikmin and stuff like that. I think it's where they tend to fall short is when they try to do a more traditional type of narrative, I think.
Pikmin 2 was great in that regard.
Alright, so I'll ask the question. Do you think the Zelda series can only benefit at this point now from incorporating voice acting?
Yes.
I think so, and nowhere is it more evident that things need to change than Skyward Sword, because having to sit through a text box and then click it again before the character on screen will even transition to their next animation and continue the scene is really stupid. And even when it scrolls automatically, it just takes away from the urgency of the scene. Like when Girahim turns up outside, I think it's the third temple, and does evil things. I don't really want to give any spoilers. It's just oh, wait a minute, this text box has to scroll. Wouldn't it be a lot easier if, say, in Ico or Eco or Shadow of the Colossus, you had a strange, weird, crazy language which isn't quite Japanese, isn't quite English, it's something strange, but also have English subtitles? That'd be the best of both worlds.
Well, no, I think that they could do what Metroid Prime 3 did and then just have everybody talk except for Link. Because, I can understand keeping him silent.
No, I agree that Link shouldn't talk, but I think there still needs to be some kind of Midna-esque language coming out of everyone else's mouth. Otherwise, it seems a bit weird. They don't need to be talking all the time. I'm fine with reading. Kingdom Hearts has a lot of voiced and written dialogue, but there's got to be some kind of advancement now. It's almost 2015 at this point.
Well, the weird, in Hyrule Warriors, you've got the narrator who speaks, and then everybody else just has text boxes. That's
so weird.
Yeah, I'm fine. A lot of RPGs do this, where they'll have voiced cutscenes and stuff, but if you talk to a random NPC in the town, they don't have voice acting. I'm okay with that because you have to save.
Yeah,
space.
that's pretty much where that's my comfort zone. For Zelda though. And you say Skyward Sword, I think it was really apparent in Hyrule Warriors, because Hyrule Warriors, we did have cinematic cutscenes. They're beautiful, but, they're talking and there's no dialect or dialogue coming out of their mouths. There's no vocal cords. It's all just grunts and hi-ahs and...
Yeah.
With this mumble, I'm able to say 3 paragraphs. I'm impressed, but I'm also, displeased.
Well, you also showed me some of the Dynasty Warriors voice acting, so I'm not really sure.
But that's circa 2002.
Has it gotten any better?
No. But that's why I said just make sure Koei Tech was not Omega Force is not in charge of the voice direction, because they suck. But I think for the Zelda franchise, I think we go to full-out voice acting. It may be alienating, especially for long-time Zelda fans, but I think it's time for
They need to stop acting like it's 1998.
Yeah, they need to get the fuck over it.
Yeah, it's time for an evolution somewhere, and I think the voice department is the first step.
You've had transformation masks, you've turned into a wolf, you've turned into a painting, for God's sake, and a few words coming out of a character's mouth scares you?
Well, I think it is probably Nintendo's history with voice acting. There's Sunshine and other M and stuff.
Oh, fucking Sunshine. That's the one thing that always gets brought up. And yeah, it is pretty shit, but doesn't have to be the only defining example of what Nintendo.
Yeah, whatever happened to learning something from your mistakes.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like Nintendo, if people don't react to Nintendo's, like this is one of the problems with my reaction to people's reaction to Other M. Like if you think the game's bad, whatever. I won't like. I think the game's kind of not terrible, but that's a discussion for a different day. But I think that the reaction to Other M, where people acted like it was Satan, meant that Nintendo, instead of learning from its mistakes and trying to adapt some of the stuff that it did do right, Nintendo is instead going to think, okay, well, we can't try that again because people won't like it. So
Are we talking strictly voice acting or just story?
voice acting, not necessarily the story, because the story has some
voice
issues.
acting wasn't Other M's problem.
Well, no,
Yeah.
the voice acting was awful in Other M. What are you talking about? But
The
when
voice
people-
acting gets complained about, but it wasn't the big problem that I personally would complain about. I just personally I found Samus's voice bland,
Yes.
and everyone else
Well,
just kind of ordinary.
Well, the voice, whoever was voicing Samus did not give even the slightest of shit. But that's the thing. If people are like, "Oh, the voice acting's awful," Nintendo isn't going to hire some better voice actors / directors. They're going to think, "Okay, let's not have voice acting anymore," which is dumb, but it's
That's basically what they did.
I
yeah.
don't know why they didn't just get Jennifer Hell, because didn't she voice Samus in Brawl?
No, it wasn't Jennifer. It wasn't Jennifer Hell in Brawl. It was only Jennifer Hell for the Prime series.
Ah, okay.
And even then, that's limited to "ouch" and a narration that was cut in the North American release of the game.
Interesting use of almost in these games. I think these are almost anyway.
You say that, and there's nothing stopping me from Z-targeting to see what Tata would say, assuming she doesn't, criticize me for saying it. What, you don't know this? No, I fucking don't. Otherwise, I would have asked you in the first place. Thank you.
Almost Knights, I think.
There's
Yeah.
like 60,000 enemies in the Zelda mythos, and all I can remember is that they all end in os. Okay, don't make fun of me, you jerk.
I just call him statue, bat, and big boulder with face, alright?
Yeah.
I know the Armos now because they gave me a hell of a lot of trouble in Link's Awakening recently. But they're the knights that when you get they seem to be statues, but when you get close, they come to life, right?
Well, we
Yeah.
already have those in this game as well. We fought them earlier in the dungeon as Goron Link. They were
Yeah, it's just in Link's Awakening they're so hard to fucking kill. So you just sort of have to hope you can get around them
Well, no,
without
what
getting
I'm
hit
more getting at,
if
there's
they
two
take
classes. There's two classes of Armos Knights in this game. There's the ones that
Yeah.
were here since Ocarina of Time, which are based off of the Armos Knights in Link's Awakening and Link to the Past.
Yeah.
But then there's also the floating variety, which Tom was commenting on earlier, that look like floating chess pieces. But they turn upside down. That's how you kill them. You have to wait for them to turn upside down and land on the ground so they expose their core, and that's how you kill them. This guy kind of visually creeps me out.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is that?
This is Gomez.
What?
Gurmes. Grim Reaper. Well, Grim
The
Reaper.
not
Grim Reaper.
Dracula, not Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
It's the mouth looking thing. What does that remind me of? I know what that reminds me of. The face reminds me of the guys from the curse boxes in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. They're like, "Whee! Now you can
Yeah, I
turn
can see that.
sideways."
Reminds me a little bit of Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, actually.
Yeah, I can if he had beady eyes.
Well, there were a couple times, I think, like during a musical sequence or whatever, where Oogie Boogie was complete black outline.
That is much harder without the the double defense thing, and also without as many heart pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should just get good, Tom.
I remember that get good is spelled incorrectly for
I
maximum
know.
effectiveness.
I know, but I can't just say, well, you just have to GITGUD, Tom. That just
Because
sounds
technically, it's, if we're gonna say how it's spelled, it's get good.
Get God?
Yeah, get good. Because the good spelled G-U-D.
We're not fighting the boss in this part, are we?
No,
Whoa,
we're not.
Bit of a frame drop there. Nice job, N64, you old ass machine.
And this is with the expansion pack.
Oh lord.
Wait, so you said the 3DS version is gonna be 60 frames per second?
Possibly on the new 3DS. I reckon it will be a rock solid 30, like Ocarina of Time 3DS on the normal 3DS.
Well, it's better than the, like 12 that this is at, or something, or whatever.
I think it's 17. I think we discussed this earlier and came to the conclusion of 21, but I heard 17.
We did discuss this. We did discuss this earlier. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are locked at 20, unless you're playing the PAL version, which Tom will again is ironically stated.
Don't even get me started about Banjo-Tooie, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, Banjo-Tooie's awful in the English version. I mean, I love that game. It's one of my all-time favorites, but the frame rate is pretty awful.
Might I interject about Banjo-Tooie? I think Kazooie is better because, while Tooie has a bigger scale, there's also so much wasted, useless space.
I
Too much.
Nah, I wouldn't really say that. Mostly just because there's always something to find over the place, and it's not like you have to go over every inch of each level like in Kazooie, because you have to get all 100 notes. Oh boy, you died, got to get all 100 again. Okay, whatever.
Well, I think it's time for you to get God, Ted.
I already am God, Tom.
God of what, Ted? God of what?
God of annoying you.
God of Tooie.
Praise Ted. Follow his Twitter account.
The fake Ted and Robo Ted are just merely proxies. Can't kill
There's so many Ted Twitter accounts, I've lost track at this point.
I'm honored and also a little bit creeped out.
Also, that's blasphemy. Die.